When Nintendo gets desperate, miracles happen, and nothing proves that more than the result of a one-night stand between The Legend of Zelda and Dynasty Warriors. Their baby of equal parts testosterone rage and estrogenic ferocity delivers a captivating experience that exploits the entire mythology of the Zelda franchise. Envisioning a Dynasty Warrior skinned with The Legend of Zelda, the developers achieved something that few people knew they wanted. The accompanying baggage contains some of the worst gameplay elements inherent to the hack-and-slash genre, but in spectacular fashion, Hyrule Warriors lets you experience the world of Zelda as someone other than Link. Gameplay rests on the usual Dynasty Warriors formula: annihilate as many enemies as possible while completing missions and capturing forts. Each character dishes out destruction through various combos that are all gorgeous to watch and a pleasure to execute. Unique weapon sets serve as worthwhile rewards from the game's delightfully retro adventure mode. Hyrule Warriors most impressively innovates in its implementation of co-op. It begs for you to play with a friend, as oftentimes there's so much going on at once, say an objective taking you to one side of the map while an enemy advances on your home base at the opposite side. Fortunately, someone can hop on your gamepad and leave the TV free of a cluttered split screen. In fact, once you've tried co-op, going back to single player means slogging through missions at a slower pace with much more annoyance. The second player can choose any character they want, so you can get into some rather awkward sequences where Ganondorf teams up with Link to save Hyrule Castle. Somehow that makes more sense than the game's inept AI. They often do more harm than good, since even though they're characters that exude hypercharged strength, they flounder against the lowliest no-name grunt. Now this would be fine if it lacked consequences, but the death of a primary AI character ends the game and forces you to restart from a checkpoint. The boggling camera angles bring even more frustration. The field of view often points in the opposite direction of where you want to be facing, meaning your flashy combo just happened almost entirely off-screen. The targeting system is a nightmare that rarely results in actually focusing on your intended target. It's poorly designed and a bigger challenge to overcome than any boss in the game. On the plus side, you get to choose from a fantastically diverse roster of renowned characters from the Zelda franchise. You'll recognize most of them, but a few oddities stand out, like obscure Twilight Princess reference, evil homosexual, and cosplay jailbait. Surprisingly, not all of the female characters are completely useless or objectified. They're dressed pretty appropriately for a game that Team Ninja worked on. Then again, the sorceress Shia looks like she has to apply a mile of tit tape before every cutscene. The game's unforgivable sin lies in its repetition. There are 18 levels in the story mode, and 4 of them are direct repeats of previous levels along with a shamelessly reskinned stage, the only difference amongst them being the character you're forced to play as and some bosses. At least you get to play as Ganondorf a few times and you get the villain's perspective for once. Any other title that tried to reuse material on a level of this magnitude would be a sheer bore fest of tedious mediocrity, but the strip mining of the Legend of Zelda mythology makes everything quite bearable. It even throws in a few Majora's Mask references which frankly excuse most of the game's failings. That's not even mentioning the soundtrack. Even if a battle goes beyond 20 minutes, it never truly grates on you so long as you're slaughtering waves of skeletons to a rocked out version of the Hyrule theme. Yet the killer soundtrack masks one of the most crucial flaws in the game's storytelling: the voice acting. In that there is no voice acting aside from narration and some pornographic grunts. Hyrule Warriors takes no great risks to achieve its objective: make Dynasty Warriors Zelda Edition. It doesn't make any big statements, it doesn't try to be any more than it is. The constant references to older Zelda games will enchant even the most casual fan. It's a refreshing meta take on the franchise, knows exactly what it's doing, and it's without a doubt one of the most compelling games to play on the Wii U. Annoying flaws prevent it from reaching must-play status, nevertheless it's definitely worth completing over the weekend. If you don't like The Legend of Zelda or Dynasty Warriors, then don't play it. Otherwise, try it out as a new spin on an old series. Thanks for watching, and mahalo!